Today our topic is how to embrace change instead of fearing it. Life is full of changes, big and small. Some changes we welcome, like a new job or a new relationship. Other changes we fear, like losing a job or ending a relationship. Change is a natural part of life, but it can be scary because it often brings uncertainty. We don't know what will happen next, and that can make us feel uneasy. But what if we could learn to embrace change instead of fearing it? What if we could see change as an opportunity rather than a threat? This is what we will explore today. Let's start by understanding why we fear change. One reason is that humans like comfort. We like routines because they make us feel safe. When something changes, our routine is disrupted, and we feel out of control. Another reason is that change often involves loss. Even if something new is better, we may still feel sad about what we are leaving behind. For example, moving to a new city might mean better opportunities, but it also means leaving friends and familiar places. This mix of excitement and sadness is normal, but it can make change feel overwhelming. So how can we learn to embrace change? The first step is to accept that change is inevitable. Nothing stays the same forever. Seasons change, people grow, and life moves forward. Fighting against change is like trying to stop the tide. It's impossible and exhausting. Instead, we can choose to accept change as a natural part of life. This doesn't mean we have to like every change, but it means we can stop resisting it. Acceptance is the key to finding peace in the midst of change. The second step is to focus on what we can control. When change happens, it's easy to feel powerless. But even in the most uncertain situations, there are things we can control. We can control our attitude. We can choose to see change as an adventure rather than a disaster. We can control our actions. Instead of hiding from change, we can take small steps to adapt to it. For example, if you lose your job, you can't control the fact that it happened, but you can control how you respond. You can update your resume, learn new skills, or network with people in your industry. By focusing on what you can control, you regain a sense of power and direction. The third step is to practice gratitude. Change often brings challenges, but it also brings opportunities. When we focus on what we are losing, we miss the good things that change can bring. Gratitude helps us shift our perspective. Instead of thinking, "I'm scared of what's coming," we can think, "I'm grateful for the chance to grow." For example, if you are moving to a new city, you might feel sad about leaving your old home. But you can also feel excited about exploring a new place, meeting new people, and discovering new opportunities. Gratitude doesn't erase the difficulty of change, but it helps us see the bigger picture. The fourth step is to embrace a growth mindset. A growth mindset is the belief that we can learn and grow from our experiences. When we face change, we can choose to see it as a chance to grow. Even if the change is painful, it can teach us something valuable. For example, losing a job might feel like a failure, but it can also be an opportunity to find work that is more fulfilling. A breakup might hurt, but it can also help us learn more about ourselves and what we want in a relationship. When we adopt a growth mindset, we see change as a teacher rather than an enemy. The fifth step is to practice self-compassion. Change can be hard, and it's okay to feel scared, sad, or confused. Be kind to yourself during times of change. Treat yourself the way you would treat a good friend. If your friend was going through a big change, you wouldn't tell them to just get over it. You would listen to them, support them, and remind them that they are strong. Do the same for yourself. Acknowledge your feelings without judgment. Give yourself time to adjust. Remember that it's okay to not have all the answers right away. The sixth step is to lean on your support system. Change can feel lonely, but you don't have to face it alone. Reach out to friends, family, or a therapist for support. Talking about your fears and concerns can help you feel less alone. Other people can also offer advice, encouragement, or a fresh perspective. Sometimes, just knowing that someone is there for you can make a big difference. The seventh step is to take small steps. Big changes can feel overwhelming, but you don't have to tackle everything at once. Break the change down into smaller, manageable steps. For example, if you're starting a new job, focus on learning one new thing each day. If you're moving to a new city, explore one neighborhood at a time. Taking small steps helps you build confidence and makes the change feel less intimidating. The eighth step is to stay present. When we face change, our minds often race to the future, imagining all the things that could go wrong. This can create anxiety and make the change feel even scarier. Instead, try to stay present. Focus on what is happening right now. For example, if you're starting a new job, don't worry about whether you'll succeed in the long term. Focus on doing your best today. Staying present helps you stay grounded and reduces anxiety. The ninth step is to trust the process. Change can feel chaotic, but over time, things usually fall into place. Trust that you have the strength and resilience to handle whatever comes your way. Remember that every change, no matter how difficult, is a chapter in your story. It might not make sense right now, but one day you may look back and see how it helped you grow. The 10th step is to celebrate small wins. Change is hard work, and it's important to acknowledge your progress. Celebrate the small victories along the way. For example, if you've been working on adapting to a new routine, celebrate the days when it feels a little easier. If you've been trying to overcome a fear, celebrate the moments when you feel brave. Celebrating small wins helps you stay motivated and reminds you that you are making progress. Finally, remember that change is not the enemy. It's a natural part of life, and it can bring growth, learning, and new opportunities. When we embrace change, we open ourselves up to new possibilities. We become more resilient, more adaptable, more confident in our ability to handle whatever life throws our way. So the next time you face a change, big or small, try to see it as an opportunity rather than a threat. Take a deep breath, focus on what you can control, and take one step at a time. You're stronger than you think, and you have the power to not only survive change, but to thrive in the midst of it. Change is not something to fear, it's something to embrace. It's a chance to grow, to learn, and to become the best version of yourself. So welcome change with an open heart and an open mind. Trust yourself, trust the process, and remember that every change is a step forward on your journey. Life is full of twists and turns, but it's these changes that make life an adventure. Embrace the adventure, and you'll find that change can be one of the greatest gifts life has to offer.